Today I'm going to be talking to you about the top 10 kinetic weapons that I think are the top 10 in Destiny 2. Okay, so starting off at number 10, I placed Wish Ender, the exotic bow. I had it at number 10 because it was relatively hard to get because, well, it was hard to get for me because I'm running mostly solo, so I don't really have very many friends that can get on when I'm on. So I was running this solo, and what I had to do was I had to go through a dungeon almost like the whole way through in order to get it, and I had to do that twice, I think, to actually get the weapon. I had to go through it the first time to get the quest for the weapon, and then I had to go a second time to actually finish the quest. So that was why I placed it at number 10. But overall, the weapon is a very good weapon because it actually does piercing damage. So it goes through, it impacts the person, and then it goes to the other side when it exits. It also does damage. So it does double damage pretty much. So it would do a double body damage hit on an enemy, right? So that would be really good for doing high health bosses or mini bosses and stuff. It would be really good for them. And it used to be a lot better. If it was still the way it was before, I'd probably place it higher on the list. But it used to do quadruple damage, and that was a bug that used to happen, and they did fix it, but it was very strong at that point. But now it does double, so it's not as good, but it's still very good. That's why it's on the top 10. The number 9 I put as Arbolest. So this is a different one because it's a linear fusion rifle, but I'm pretty sure it's the only linear fusion rifle that is in the Kinetic loadout slot. So it's a different one. So it's very good at getting high damage headshots, and you can body shot a lot of things as well, like one-shot body shots and everything. And it's actually very good in PvP. I didn't really use it that much in PvP, but whenever I did use it, it was quite good. And it would like one-shot people if you hit a headshot. And, it's hard to one-shot people, like, without having a sniper or something. So, like, to have Arbalest in the Kinetic slot and being a linear fusion rifle, it's very good to have. And, it does have a little bit of a charge time, which, like, all fusion rifles and linear fusion rifles have, which kind of sucks, and people can hear it. Like in PvP, if you're rounding a corner and you decide to charge it up to shoot the guy that you see, they're going to hear it and possibly dodge away or like try and hide behind something. So that's one of the downsides. That's why it's lower on the list. At number 8, I have Sweet Business. This thing can rip through enemies like none of your business. This is like a really good exotic weapon that you can use, and it's pretty nuts how fast the enemies can die from this thing, especially if you hit headshots. I was running through on fighting Zol, and I was just killing a bunch of acolytes, just wave after wave, and it was extremely good. The only downside is that it has a like a load up time. Whenever you start shooting, it's kind of slower, but then it builds up really fast to, like, it only takes about 10 bullets to actually get to the full, like, speed that it can shoot at. And the only other downside that I see is that Sometimes you can't get enough, you can't get kills in order to reload the magazine, so you're just using 150 bullets. So you have to beat a boss, you're only allowed to use 150 bullets rather than using like 300 because it keeps refilling the magazine when you kill smaller enemies and stuff. So that's just one of the downsides that this thing has. Now on to number 7, I put at Thorn, which it was a hard exotic quest in a way because it was more of a like secret type of thing. So like I couldn't really find where the actual thing was at the time. It also changes locations at specific times. So you have to like I had to look it up to find where to actually get Thorn. But as you play with it, every kill you get drops an orb, which allows you to use Soul Devourer, which will shred the enemies that you shoot only once. Like if I didn't have Soul Devourer on, I'd have to shoot somebody like 3 or 4 times. Like I'd have to shoot a Cabal 3 or 4 times to kill it. But once I get Soul Devourer on, I can probably shoot it twice and then just let the over time damage just kill it and then pick up the orb later. But there are time limits on the orbs, so if you kill somebody from far away, you might not get there in time to get Soul Devourer. And also, Soul Devourer only lasts about 10 seconds, so you gotta make sure that you are able to find enemies to kill in order to keep Soul Devourer on. But that's really only that's the only like downside with the timer on Soul Devourer. Overall, it is a very good weapon, especially when you hit headshots with Soul Devourer too. It's very good to kill smaller enemies in one shot, and that allows you to pick up Soul Devourer quicker. And now on to number 6. I have Bite of the Fox, which is a Iron Banner sniper rifle. For mine, it has 4 bullets, but it normally has 3. I think one of the perks was that it gains an extra bullet, which is actually, like, that makes the gun better because you're able to shoot another shot and get an extra damage in. And that's really good for, like, any extra mag type things, especially with sniper rifles. So whenever you hit headshots with this thing, it is very crispy. So if you can hit 4 headshots in one mag, then you don't have to reload as often, and you could also you can slay your enemies, slay the major enemies, and then also maybe some bosses if all 3 of your fire team, or if you're in a raid or whatever using Bite of the Fox, it might actually kill it quicker. If you all use the same one, you all use Bite of the Fox, it would be a very good sniper to use. I use this in I did use it in PvP a lot when I first got it, and it was a crispy sniper shot. It's also its handling isn't half bad either, so you can you're able to track people through the air and get a crispy headshot with them. So number 5 I have as Dire Promise. It's a legendary hand cannon. So I use this mostly when I'm using an exotic in my secondary slot, but it's also a very, very awesome hand cannon to use. It has pretty high damage as hand cannons are concerned. Like you can one-shot enemies, like the smaller enemies and stuff, and then it can also have extra damage to the shields for enemies, so you can over-penetrate the shield. And it has a pretty decent range. Mine has a masterwork on the range aspect, so you can shoot farther away. And it also has pretty good handling when it comes to hand cannons. That's all I really have to say about that. Number 4 I have is Izanagi's Burden. This sniper rifle is a beast. It has 4 shots in it, but you can hold the reload button and it becomes 1 shot that has the damage of 4 shots and a little bit more. It has about like 4.5 to 5 times damage. So like whenever you reload into that one bullet magazine, it does extremely high damage, especially if you get a headshot, and it can kill a lot of things. Like it can kill majors in 1 hit. It can kill stuff from really far away, obviously, and you don't even have to use the 1 bullet magazine to kill that far away because it's a sniper. But the headshots are really good. They do a lot of damage just with the 4 bullet magazine. But like I said, with the 1 bullet magazine, you can kill a lot tankier, healthier things than what you would normally get with the 4 bullets. Because if you shoot 4 bullets and get all 4 headshots, it's still not going to be the same amount of damage as the 1 bullet magazine getting a headshot with that. Like I said, it was like 4.5 or 5 bullets in that 1 bullet, so it makes it do a lot more damage. And it's also really good in it's good in PvP too. Alright, number 3 I have is Wither Horde. So this was a new one from this season, Shadowkeep, and it allows you to put down an area of effect where it constantly does damage, and it's really good for PvE. I don't think it's very good for PvP because you have to hit the enemy kind of to like have it do damage to them all the time. But you can close off certain areas if you really wanted to in PvP. But for PvE, it's good in a lot of aspects, like Altar of Sorrows, with the nightmares and everything. That is really good to do that with because all the enemies are coming out of 1 spot, so you can just keep putting the Wither Horde area of effect in that 1 spot and it'll kill a lot of those people. You can do that with a lot of things. And then with the bosses and majors, what you can do is you can actually shoot them specifically and it stays inside their body in a way and does damage to them specifically, not the area that they're standing in. So you can just keep putting more of those bullets into that person so that they take damage themselves, and then it also lasts a lot longer in that way because you can, whenever they die, it drops down to the ground again. So then that area of effect thing lasts as well as inside the body. And that is that's really great to use when you're fighting a big boss and you have to hide from them because you're like low on health or whatever. You can shoot them and it does damage while you're hiding because it's like damage over time and everything, and it's really great to use in public events and strikes and stuff like that. And for number 2, I have Rose. And you know why I have Rose? Because Rose is a tanky hand cannon even without the weapon perks. Like if you're just getting Rose, it's really good without the weapon perks. It has great handling, great impact on enemies, great headshots, a pretty decent magazine. It's over 10. The reload speed is alright. Its damage is just extremely good. You can do a lot of stuff with the damage that you have. Your headshots can actually decrease your reload time, so your reload speed goes up. with the perks that you have. And I kind of like how it feels when you shoot it too. Like normally hand cannons, whenever you shoot them, they like to recoil up and then come back down to the spot that you're trying to shoot all the time. And that's what Rose does. It does it in a very great way. It has the feel of a hand cannon, like if you're shooting one in real life. Like it feels like you're shooting it in real life because of how it reacts to when you shoot, going up and down and everything. And it's just a great weapon. Its masterwork has an increase to range, so it can go really far. And the damage fall off isn't too bad. You can still do a lot of damage from an increased amount away. Number 1, drumroll please. I have Ace of Spades. This is the gun that I have been using, that I have loved for so long. This was my favorite gun for a very long time. So you can, whenever you headshot kill, it blows up an area. So you can kill like 3 or 4 people if they're in one spot and you get a kill with a headshot. It just blows everybody up. I also like it because of the way the gun is made. Like if you just look at how it's made, it is very well formed. And also the fact that Cade 6 used it. And that's my favorite NPC character. Unfortunately, he went through some unfortunate circumstances, so now we have the Ace of Spades, but I'm glad we do because it is a very great hand cannon, and it reminds us all the time about Cade 6 and how he used it, and it is just extremely well balanced. And you could also have, it's called Memento Mori, where after you get a kill, if you reload really quick, you get 6 bullets that are higher damage. It's kind of like Aurelions Burdened in a way. You can get higher damage shots, but it's after a kill with a reload. You get 6. You get a 6 stack, so you can do 6 high damage shots in a relatively quick time. And if you get a kill in those 6 shots, you can reload again, and it replenishes the 6 shots, so you potentially don't have to lose Memento Mori, so you can keep getting those high damage shots and then blowing up people with the precision headshots as well. So that's all I have for that one. Just to let you guys know, I don't have every gun in the game, and if I had Mountaintop, you know, it would be up here somewhere, probably in the top 5 somewhere. But I do not have Mountaintop. Don't flame me in the comments. I do not have Mountaintop. There's a lot of guns that I don't have, but you know, this is my top 10 that I like to use pretty regularly. So, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.